to get to like 80-90%. Would you be excited about that? Yeah, because I see some people who are already like at 50. All right, like let's raise it up. So who here can explain like what the benefit of creating a clear vision board is in like a few words? Like, can anybody here explain like what is the benefit of having a clear vision, a clear destination? Anybody want to volunteer?
I'll share from especially from my experience with you is getting clear on the things that I really desire on a daily basis, and getting, from a mental perspective, it's okay, these are the most important things, and there's all kinds of distractions, but like getting that true north tuned in, from a mental side, and then, activating the manifestational powers of the universe to really allow the synchronicities to happen around like these specific things, and not just, oh, I want to live a great life. It's no, like this is what makes my life great, and these are the things that I really want.
Yes. So activating something from the universe is just activating the resistance that we ourselves have toward the big visions that we create for ourselves, right? So manifestation, in essence, is creating space inside of ourselves, because we are the whole universe, where we allow for things to come in because we release the resistance, right? So how amazing is it when we release the resistance because we have a clear vision? Because what is a clear vision? A clear vision is seeing a destination, right? So like when you input into the GPS in a new location, a destination to go to a grocery store, do you say, I'm just trying to get somewhere into the GPS, or do you input the specific grocery store or just the words grocery store when you're trying to get there? Right?
Two quick questions, Dasha. And if you're okay with that, I'd love to kind of dance with you in certain moments of like going deeper on certain questions, because again, I've gotten a ton of results with you. So two questions. So about, manifestation is creating space to allow for things to come in by releasing the resistance. So what are your favorite tips on releasing resistance to what we really desire?
So that's the second topic. After creating a clear vision, how do you release the resistance, and how to release the challenges to embody this new identity? So with the vision board comes this process I call a new identity embodiment. So when you create like a vision, you have to step into a new identity in order to manifest that vision, right? So if you have, for example, a financial goal in a vision board, who here has a financial goal in the vision board? Financial goal? Yes, cool. So that financial goal requires a different level of thinking, right? A different level of being. So now how do you become a different level of thinking and a different level of being type of person? You create a new identity for yourself. So let's say, Selva, give us your identity. She's got a new identity.
Oh yeah, $1 million artist goddess.
$1 million artist goddess.
But
okay.
I kind of like in this last week, I feel like maybe I should step a little bit back before, and then, step by step, get in there, right? Because you still feel too far.
So what does it mean? So when you have a new identity, what does it mean? So let's say you have an identity right now because you've created a certain abundance.
Mm-hmm.
A new identity means that now you are stepping into the shoes of somebody
Mm-hmm.
who's an abundant artist, and you call yourself $1 million artist goddess, right?
Yep.
So there's two identities. So now how do you remove the resistance? How do you remove the resistance of embodying the new identity? How do you remove the challenges?
To doing out of comfort zone.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
meditation,
Mm-hmm.
everything that's outside of our comfort zone. And now like the latest things that we've discovered is that if we can create new memories inside of our mind to attach to the new identity that are like us stepping outside of our comfort zone. And what do I mean by that? If you're doing like your daily rituals, you're doing your daily practices, doing something that is more hardcore so you can remember it.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I mean?
What are some favorite examples there? Yeah.
So every memory that we have runs the show. Who here believes that our subconscious runs everything? Raise your hand. Who here believes that we got to rewrite the subconscious so that way we can become conscious and then become that new person, so that way our new memory becomes subconscious? Does that make sense, or was that a lot? So we got to create new memories and input them into our subconscious, because our mind, our body doesn't know if we put something on there or if it's something from the past. So we gotta trick ourselves to believe into this new identity. We gotta rewrite the memories of the past. So how do we do that? And we just recently have been doing this inside our group. How do we do that? How do we create new memories and then attach more emotion to them? Who here could think of a way? Yeah, Mash, go. Cold plunge. Yes. An intentional cold plunge. Because if you just do a cold plunge, great, you're overcoming yourself. But what if you're doing a cold plunge with an intention to embody a new identity, a new normal for yourself? Think about that. Setting up a new standard. And before you're doing something hardcore, creating that intention, creating these new thoughts. Like, what are some new thoughts that are going to go together with my new identity? Okay, what do I believe? What do I need to believe in order to become this? So right before we're doing something that's extraordinary, like a cold plunge, like maybe a meditation, like shaking everything off, creating that space, creating that intention that we are about to go into this experience, right? With the intention to transform into a new way of being completely. Not just transform our mind for a few seconds, but to transform and become a new person. Right? And then another thing to do, another thing to do is start asking yourself, like, what, our thoughts control the show. Our subconscious runs the show. Every little thought, like when you're going to a grocery store and you're about to pick up those cherries, but your mind is like, oh my God, that's gonna be like $12 a bag. At that moment, you just send to the universe that you're not abundant. So now every little thing matters. This is how we transform into a new identity, is catching ourselves in that moment and being like, whoa, where's my vibration right now? Where's my emotion right now? Because we think that every little thing doesn't matter, but it does.
Yeah, I want to reinforce that because, like, yeah, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, that like if you like get off track a little bit, this has been super clear to me that like if I'm like speaking kind of incorrectly or doing something kind of wrong or being imprecise and whatever, it's like mirrored back super fast to me lately. So okay, there's some nod there. So yeah, like all of us like stepping up to another level of awareness of what aspects of ourselves are running the show internally and our thoughts, words, vibes, actions, so we can really be in the frequency of massive success and the lives we really want to live.
Right. And Jackson and I, when as we've been working together, some days he would come and be like, oh, I'm not ready to work on our stuff. Is it okay if I use this as an example?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, I'm feeling this way today. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to do breath work. We're going to do drum. We're going to do embodiment. Because guess what? A shift in vibration is the work. We think that our financial goal is somehow separate from our breath work, from our forgiveness practices, from what we eat. It's not. Right? Who here believes that everything is connected? Raise your hand. Who here believes that every little thing matters? Raise your hand. And who here believes that the universe has got a divine plan and we are guided every single moment? So whether we like it or not, we are, whether we want to flow or not, right? We got to eliminate resistance. So then another way to overcome challenges once you're starting on this path to clear visioning, and the clearer the vision, the easier it is to believe, right? And what is belief? Belief is, say it with me, belief is power.
Belief is power.
1, 2, 3. Belief
is power.
So clear vision leads to belief, right? Clear vision and belief is power. Because once you have power, once you have belief, can anybody take away your belief once you believe something that you believe? Can anybody take away something that you say, I'm going to go out and do this and get it? Once you believe it really to be true, can anybody take that away from you? They can try, but once you have enough momentum, they'll fail because you have so much energy and momentum toward it. And this is what manifestation is. You gaining the energy and momentum to believe in yourself, and your vision is so strong that no one can take it away from you. Like, look at, you have divine fire. Who wants to play with somebody who's got divine fire? Say, hey, hey, because it's fun. Like, do you want to play with somebody who doesn't believe, or somebody who's like, come on, we're going to figure this out? Right? So who here knows how human design now jumps into the picture and helps us eliminate resistance, use our energy the right way, because you guys have some training in human design. Who here can shine in how human design has helped with manifestation and clear vision?
I'll chime in.
Okay.
So according to human design, some of us are specific manifestors and some of us are general. So if you have specific manifestor in your chart, then that means that when you're creating your vision and what you desire to manifest, you need to put down specific numbers. For example, specific number of clients, specific number in your bank account by a specific date. And if you're a general manifestor, then you're just going for the feeling. So it doesn't have to be so specific, but it has to embody how that goal, that desire will make you feel. So if it's something that you're doing because in honor of someone that you love has passed, then the goal and desire to attract more clients into your program, you can put the picture image of that person to represent the clients that you're attracting, because then you'll feel that desire to want to attract them.
Mm-hmm. So Masha's jumped into something really brilliant. Understanding the reason why you do the things that you do. Thank you so much for sharing. Give her a hand, give her a hand. Good job, good job, good job. Thank you for sharing. We've got to understand the reason why we do what we do. Because if we have a why, we'll keep going no matter how hard it gets, right? And a lot of people are like, I don't know why. Okay, you got to think, you got to get deep into it. Like, did you experience hard times when you were a child? Was there scarcity of food? Did you experience maybe some trauma, some abuse, and you want to demonstrate what it's like to be peaceful? Did you experience maybe somebody passed away in your family? Anybody? Anybody passed away around you? Yeah, maybe that's the reason why. Because the why has to drive. The why is the purpose. Through our why, we understand our passion. Who here can explain their why in 30 seconds, why they do the thing that they do? Maybe somebody who wants to share a story in like a little 30 second to a minute story, and why, the reason why they do what they do.
Genevieve, do you want to share? I don't want to call you out if you're feeling shy, but I feel like you would rock that.
Who?
Genevieve.
Genevieve. Okay, cool.
Sorry, could I have the question again, please?
I just said I know I just sent you a WhatsApp on something else, but yeah,
Yes, I was responding to you.
I distracted you. Sorry. So a brief riff on your why. You know, you've got such a tremendous charge around what you do, and that's one of the many things I just admire and enjoy about you so much. So I just wanted to give you a chance to inspire us with the passion that you have for what you do.
Thank you. Well, for context, I run a community for bisexual women. It's global, it's around the world. And my why is quite simply myself. I wanted a safe space for women like me who understood one another and didn't be judged. It's a valid sexuality, and it seems to be dismissed by so many still. That and freedom sexually for women to express themselves and know their own bodies without feeling they need to perform for a male. So
I love that.
I'm still
That's
passionate about it 15 years on.
beautiful. Can everybody see how radiant she is when she talks about it? Raise your hand if you can see that she's got a ton of passion.
Oh, thank you.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing. I can tell you love what you do. And
brings me joy. I could do this for free for the rest of my life, because it makes me so goddamn happy, to see women as happy as me doing this.
Yes. Yes. I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you. So does anybody else want to share? Okay, no, let's give her a hand.
Oh, Selva, yeah, I saw a quick hand from Selva
I
there.
can
If you're
share
feeling brave.
like
Okay, cool.
yeah, like
But it's gotta be fast.
yeah, I love to do large scale art installation in immersive art experience where people can experience and shift consciousness, because I love generating this space where people can download new codes and new, like a way to be and learn good information for them process in life.
So
cool.
Selva creates big installations that are transformational, and she does Love Burn, Burning Man, all of the big festivals. She creates big spaces. And not only that, she also creates costumes. She loves working with her hands. And she does a lot of custom stuff.
Oh, I knew I recognized your name, Selva. I know you. I know your work. You're awesome. Really. Like I'm very familiar with the installations you created. Really. Great to meet you. Thank you for what you do.
Cool,
if
thank you.
If
That's so
anybody
cool.
knows anybody who needs installations, private or public, she
Yeah,
is incredible.
I'm totally in for
Can do
future
it.
Oreo conference. Yeah, so I'm
cast.
totally, yeah, like let's definitely offline. I'll chat you right now, because we're doing really awesome events and I'd love your input. So,
Oh, cool. Nice.
and to work together. Cool.
Okay,
So-
nice. Thank you.
So here are the most important aspects of when you are sharing your story. 1, why you do what you do. 2, what's the call to action? So you got to have, when you're sharing the story, you got to bring in your offering. You got to bring in who you're talking to, and right away, what offer you're presenting to them. Right? So that way, the perfect person, when you're talking to them, they know exactly that this is for them. And then they're like, oh yeah, this is me. This is me. This is me. Then you're like, yes, I'm over here. I'm shining my light. I've overcome these struggles. Come with me so you can also overcome them. Right? Who here believes that our struggles is the source of salvation and the source of success? Raise your hands. Who here believes that perfection is the enemy? Is the enemy of success?
But can I say things about struggle? Like I'm experiencing these things about like when everything is going good, but it's too good, you kind of like generate some struggles or kind of start to thinking negative because it's kind of like unconscious. You want to struggle to keep pushing. I don't know how to explain.
It's called a self-sabotage, and the more success we experience, the louder the voice gets. So who here thinks that the more successful you become, the quieter the voice gets in the head? It doesn't. See, so ultimately, okay, this is the way I like to explain this. When you're running toward your perceived success, you're at your destination end. There's also 2 people who are holding the line and are also running. Because this is how we constantly have goals, right? Visions. And we forget how far we've come because they constantly change. Right? So when we achieve something that we haven't been able to do before, suddenly we have new visions and we're like, oh, wait, but there's all these other things. We forget to stop for a second and recognize, oh, wow, this was once a dream. I once had a dream to wear these fancy clothes I'm wearing. Why did I forget that I once had a dream to go to the store and buy all the foods that I wanted in Whole Foods? Why don't I recognize how big of an accomplishment this is already? Right? I once struggled to get $1,000 and now I have thousands of dollars, but wait, I'm shooting for the millions. And I feel like once I get there, then, right? Once you get there, who you are does not change. who you become does. Because the people that get up on the stage who have achieved these incredible goals, why do they cry? Because of the person that they became in the process. Right? Because they know that if it could be taken away in a snap of a finger, then they'll know how to recreate it. Right? So some of the ways to overcome challenges, right? We've got new identity embodiment. I feel that's the most powerful because you can keep meditating, but if you don't create powerful ways to input a new identity, embody, input into the body, like physically into the body, you don't actually change. Because you're working on mindset instead of embody, bringing into the body the new identity, the new you. Right? Does that make sense? Does anybody have questions on like how to get this into the body? You just got to create ways, uncomfortable things like go into the water at 5 a.m. in the morning. Like you got to create ways to disrupt the old memories, the old patterns with new ones. So now you're recreating, right? You're recreating from old memories, new memories, and you're making them your norm. How does $1 million artist operate? How does $1 million mama operate? How does $1 million entrepreneur? How does $1 million healer operate? How does he think? How does he walk? How does he talk? Because before you can convince anybody else that you're it, you got to convince yourself, right? Right?
Totally. Just to reinforce that, like in a phrase that works for me personally, and hopefully this amplifies that for everyone, because I'm a gajillion % behind what you just said, is it's not about like waiting till we feel like worthy or accomplished or whatever it is to take the right action. It's taking the action what that feels like it's beyond us, and then we become the version of ourselves that we really want to embody. So yeah,
right.
Totally on board.
So when in a group of people, somebody says, who wants to lead the next workshop? If you're uncomfortable AF, your hand needs to go up, and they stay there, and they stay there. Right? I'm sorry I startled you. I love you, Satori. This is baby Satori, by the way. You guys are getting baby medicine. He's almost a month old on the 13th.
So cool.
So
Congratulations again.
Thank
And
you.
baby Satori, thanks for being with us, buddy.
Other ways to overcome challenges. Who here, like, do you guys understand about like how it's better to have that intention, create the space, embody, like do these hardcore things to transform the past memories into new ones with the new identity? Does anyone have any questions or comments about that?
Do
Yeah.
you want to show us how?
Oh yeah, totally. Okay, so for example, let's say I was to use breath work, right, as an example for embodying a new identity. I would set the intention when I'm doing my daily ritual to embody a new identity. So then I would go into meditation and be like, okay, I'm going to embody a new identity with breath work. So you know what? Let's do this together. Everybody want to do a little demo? Yeah. Okay, so think of a new identity that you want to embody. Maybe some of you have it, maybe some of you don't have it. But once you've thought about it, a new identity, this abundant, powerful, divine, financially stable, like whatever your new identity is, think of one right now and raise your hand once you have one in your mind. You got one? Okay. So now say inside yourself or out loud, up to you. I am, and then that identity. I am $1 million mama, manifestation mama. I am. I see. And now say, like, you guys can all close your eyes if you don't have. I see, and visualize what this new identity looks like. I see. I see. I know. What does this new identity know about herself, himself? I know. I know. I know. I am. Fill in the blank. I am. Talk about this new identity, either inside of yourself or out loud. I am. I am. I love. What do you love about this new identity? I love. I love. I love. I feel. What do you feel now as that new identity? I feel. I feel. I feel. So now let's bring it into the body. Some of you, if you want to do it sitting down, you can do it sitting down. Some of you, if you want to stand up, you can stand up. Because we're going to bring this new identity and body. We're going to bring it into the body. This was what we just did, was an embodiment exercise. And now I want us to breathe it in, shake it in, whatever you feel like you need to do or tap it in to bring that identity into the body. Okay, so do what you need to do, either sit or stand up and do this exercise with me. So take a deep breath and release. So now whether you're standing or sitting, we're going to do 50 breaths, okay? And make it intentional to embody this new identity, to feel it, to be it, to really become it. And remember this exercise right now, because you can go back to it and do it again. But we're making this intentional, okay? I want you to feel through your breath that even your toes after this breath work can feel this new identity. Ready? You guys ready to play full out? You just said what it is. So now through the breath, let's do a fire breath. Imagine there's a circular motion. Like that, we're going to do 50 of them. Bring that identity in. Who she is, who he is, how he feels, how he walks, how he talks, how he loves, what he sees, what she sees in all her environment from the view of that new identity. Okay, so let's do 50 breaths, okay? And embody it. I want you to feel through your entire body. Let that energy just really go as we're doing this breath work to put on this new suit. Right? This higher level, this abundant, this limitless, this orgasmic, this tantric, this financially free identity, okay? So take a deep breath and let's do 50 breath work. Let's go. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. Let it go. And take a deep breath and hold it. Hold it for as long as you can. Put on the new identity. This is the new you. Become your best self. This is your life. This is your moment. You are the only one that has to believe. And whenever you're ready, slowly release. And let's do this again just to make sure every single part of our body truly believes. I want you to do this breath work with so much intention and so much power. Imagine that all of the animals, the elements, everything is coming through you and reshaping you and rebuilding you, and all the cells are healing on every level from every single memory that doesn't serve. Just release it all through the breath and allow for the expansion and the newness to come in. because this is your moment and everything can shift right now, right here, because in this moment we have decided to co-create and all the willing components and elements are right here. So do this hard, do this intentional. Ready? Let's do this. Last 50. Take a deep breath. Make it very strong, very powerful, very intentional. And if you need to shake anything as you do that to balance up and down, just do whatever needs to do to allow, to let go, release, and let it in. So take a deep breath. Give me all you got. 50. Let's go. Great. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Take a deep breath and hold it. Put one hand on your heart, one hand to the ethers. Hold it as long as you can. And whenever you're ready, let it go with the sound of Now observe this moment. Let the healing energy of the mother that's coming through me just really hold you in this moment. To care for you. This every part of your body, every cell, every molecule. Thank yourself, hug yourself. Maybe imagine yourself as a little baby like Satori. It's okay. You're doing great. Imagine creating more space like this, where there's no mind, no body, just total presence of love, expansion. Who here is ready to make a commitment like this to create space every day now for yourself to empty the mind and just be fully present? Because remember how amazing you are. You're doing great. So make that space, because this is the space. The space in between is where the expansion happens. Right? Don't think too much all the time, because when you think too much or overanalyze, you're squeezing the space in between thoughts, and the space in between thoughts is the space of full potential. Right? The space in between thoughts, that's where the downloads can come in. So you got to create the environment, the intensity, the embodiment to create space. So there's space between the thoughts. How was that for everybody? Was it good? So then lastly, when you know your why and you have your story straight, you gotta have a minute version of your story, like a little elevator pitch. Because when somebody asks you what you do, you know, you gotta go into story and then bring them into what is an offering. Like when we're providing a service to people, it's just we're bringing them inside of a dream that we've created, right? We create a dream of our higher self, and everybody else wants to do the same thing. So we help people create a dream of their higher self, of the limitless, most abundant, most sexual, most free dream, right? So when we can do that for ourselves, and like what Genevieve does, I hope I said your name right, is she helps people create dreams, completely abundant sexual dreams, right? Because sexuality is success. Everything is success if you understand that this is your path. Like for some people, sexuality is the path to success because that's the way to feel limitless and free. Who Heal resonates. Like sacred sexuality, maybe no limit sexuality, maybe Tantra. Yes, body touch. For some people, it's through painting art, path to success. For some people, through writing, right? Through creation. There are absolutely no limits. And remember, when somebody says no, they're just not on the same frequency as you, and you don't want to work with them anyways, because it's going to be like butting heads, right? Do you know what I mean? Like that we have so many people around this world that need our energy. To give power to somebody who doesn't feel it resonate or feels that we are an asset in their life is a disservice to everybody else who's still waiting for us to find and be magnetized to them. Right? Because when you're like this right now, does it feel like work? It don't feel like work. This is play.
Yeah, there's an amazing Alan Watts quote that y'all might have heard. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt your flow, but like I'm gonna paraphrase it or get it wrong slightly, or my understanding of it. But it's like the great mistake that people make is committing to work that should be play, but calling it work. And like the flip is just call it play. Like that's what it's meant to be. And like that's such an internal nervous system, emotional creativity. Like I'm here to play hard. Like I'm gonna play this game. Like I'm gonna really go for it, but I'm gonna play it. You know, that's such something I remind myself of because I am very prone to forgetting that.
You're gonna really heal for it, right? That's what you meant to say.
Thank you. Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
every word matters. And there's so much in the English language like that are just like crazy, like break a leg, like you're killing it. No, I'm healing it. Like like pay attention when you are the one who is creating your reality with your words, because every word is a spell into this cosmic sea of creation, right? And with Selva, we had the conversation the other day. Sometimes it feels like we need to go even deeper into, the roots. We need to understand more of ourselves. So the universe, universe, 2 words, right? YOU, universe, will bring you the challenges exactly that you need, which at the moment you don't see, or the healers that you need, even when you feel like it's like, how much more of this can I handle? Who here can resonate with this? Because remember, vibration is not like this. The wave is not constantly the same length every time. Every thought, every word always changes the frequency of it. Right? It's not the same frequency all the time.
Yeah, totally. One thing is I don't want to disrupt your chain of thought here. Is one thing that feel called to check in on, and like check other everyone's temperature on as well, is like going into like the dimensions of your vision boarding perspective, which something I've really enjoyed. So if there's some point you want to go to next, let's do that. But I do feel like I want to make sure we nail that as like the layers of the way that you do vision boarding, which I think is epic.
Yes. Can I share the screen or
Yeah, you should have rights.
Oh, sweet. So
Cool.
I gave you guys access login. You can go check this out. If you go into the manifestation mini course, you'll be able to see this.
And did everyone get that via email? If you didn't get that, let me know, because you should all have emails about that. I meant to put that in the WhatsApp that you to look for the email, but yeah, please make sure you get that.
It's all good. Can everybody see my screen? Okay. So the way that I approach visioning is that there are 7 frequencies that are most important in life, and I had this channeled to me when actually 2014 my mom was diagnosed with stage 4B cervical cancer, and let me tell you a little bit, like 30-second of my story and the reason how this came to be. I found myself blurring the words, "Mom, I can't believe you ruined my life," and she's right there, stage 4B cervical cancer, and I couldn't believe I said that. So then she said, "My brothers abused me when I was little." So let me stop sharing for a second. "My brothers abused me when I was little." So then I was like, wow, all this running away, my whole life, turning to alcohol, turning to drugs, was all because I was looking for love. And suddenly I saw my mom as a little kid who just needed to be loved herself, and she couldn't find a way to heal in this lifetime. Okay. So then I was transforming so fast, finding psychedelics, sexuality for healing, that people were like, "You should write a book, you should write a book." So then I started to write a book. And while writing a book, and by the way, English is my 3rd language, so I didn't think I could do it. While writing a book, I was doing my daily rituals. And then intuitively, this visioning process came that became my accountability buddy. In order to continue to write, aka understand that this is the biggest and most important thing, and the impact that I'm here to serve for the world is to heal myself, and the tools that I found: psychedelic, sexuality, Tony Robbins, Landmark Forum. Anybody else here? Tony Robbins, Landmark Forum, a psychedelic healing, psychedelics, meditation, yeah, journaling. So then I started to put it all together, and writing a book was like all of these on crack. So then this manifestation process came intuitively from meditations and from daily rituals to daily practices. So all the 7 frequencies that are in here all came channeled. And you guys, when you have access to the manifestation mini course and the human design, which you have access with the Aria's code, you'll be able to see how all these frequencies are important in order to manifest. So you put in the middle of the vision board your most important thing, what you're headed toward. And then there's 7 frequencies: fitness, food, family, friends, financial abundance, freedom, and fun, feelings that all need to be in alignment to manifest your biggest visions. Because your fitness, food, is it directly linked to your financial abundance? Raise your hand if you believe that what you eat can help you manifest. What about your freedom, your ability to experience freedom, whether it's through sexuality, through writing, whatever it is for you? Who here believes that that's directly linked to your financial abundance too? Who here believes that fun is directly linked to all of these things also, to financial abundance and everything else that you ever wanted? And who here believes that you gotta realize where your emotions are, how you're feeling in order to manifest, because you gotta raise it up, right? Raise your vibes and stay there. Who here believes that you gotta raise your vibes and stay at a higher vibrational state to manifest? Yes? So this is what I've developed, the 7F manifesting secrets. And there's a whole 7-step process with the 7 frequencies. And what I say is, as soon as something manifests on your vision board, you gotta take it off. Right? So you can do this in PowerPoint. You can do this in Canva. And you guys are welcome to send it in to me once you're done, if you haven't created a vision board that's intentional. But the most important thing is to embody this as if it already happened right here and now. Right? Because, right? What's up?
I see you put in blue stuff that manifested. Do you keep a record of all the old vision board and put that blue, this manifested in to remember your accomplishment?
No,
Or-
so I keep the old record of the old
Mm.
vision boards, but I don't write down when they manifested.
Okay.
I mean, if that's useful for you, you could do that.
No, it's just curious if it was helpful, that's process too,
And you can also do this in Canva, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Canva's got really cool, let me show you how cool their process is. So Canva is super cool also. Okay, so you can do it in Canva. And the cool thing about Canva, I recently learned, thanks to Masha, is that you can send it to your phone. So for some reason, some of my pictures are not showing up because maybe of the Zoom. But Canva, you can send it to your phone, and this could be your background, right? So the most important part is embody it in the now. So create a vision that's like either 30, 60, 90 days out, and then step into that new identity, that new vision. I'm so happy and grateful that I have X in my bank account now that my vision manifested. I'm so happy and grateful that I have unleashed my sexuality by doing, let's say, I don't know if you have a sexual dream, maybe a fantasy, by doing this by this date now that my vision manifested. So if you're specific in manifesting, then you have to write down the exact date, month, and what is the thing that you want. And put it in the now, because every single thing that's happening is just a time frame. Like we're living in picture frames, which are constantly happening. So we think that I'm moving so fast, but in reality, everything's like now, right? So when you can enter into another now moment and say, okay, I'm limitless in the next 30 days from now, what's the date? Let's say, what is the date? Jen, February, what's the date today? The 9th? 10th, okay. February 10th, 2024. Like let's say, for example, you want to have a financial goal, and let's say it's 10K. Let's say 10K. I'm so happy and grateful that I have 10K in my bank account because I served one client on February 10th, now that my vision manifested. Okay, how do you make it real? Who here has got a financial goal, for example? How do you make it real now? All right, you got to embody it. You got to bring it into the body. You got to do it through your daily rituals. You got to create those new memories, right? So what can I do that I'm uncomfortable doing to become this new person, this new identity that believes in my vision? What can I do to eliminate resistance? What can I do to let go of more fear now that I'm embodying this new identity, this new result? Okay. And then you say, oh, I believe that I need to do, like, let's say this sexual experience, whatever, like in order to become more fearless. Okay, I'm so happy and grateful that I had this experience by this date, now that my vision manifested. Do you see what I'm saying?
And just to tell a brief story, Dasha, you probably know where I'm going to go with this as far as raising money goes. I had a very large fundraising goal a few months ago, and a few months prior to that, we set it, had the date, had the person, had the amount, and it was the date was November 6th, I think it was early November. And literally the check was in my hand 3 days before that date. And it was a big ass number. And it made a huge difference for us. So like leaning in and powering up all of your awarenesses and enthusiasms around this, because it's as you all already know, this shit's real. And yeah.
And the thing is, when we're starting to work, like he's like, oh, I'm not sure if it's really gonna happen. I'm like, wait. We are deliberate creators. And here's your human design. I pulled up his human design. So does anybody need like a little 30-second spiel on what is human design? Raise your hand if you need me to say that. No? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we're all pretty savvy.
Sweet. So I was like, this is your design. You're a projector. You're an amplifier. So anybody who comes to you, you're gonna amplify their energy. Remember, this is what you do. This is so much bigger than you. So then intuitively, what happens when we're manifesting? We got to be kids again. Because one of the reasons why people get disease, and this is obviously my hallucination, is that they don't want to live their childhood dreams. They don't want to live and execute on these bigger than life dreams. Right? They're stopping themselves. So then I'm like, Jackson, what is this limitless dream in every area of your life? We're going to create the vision right now. And he's like, oh, I'm not sure. Da-da-da. And I'm like, you are a deliberate creator. Do you believe it? Who here believes they're a deliberate creator or creatrix? Yes. Who here believes that we absolutely have no limits? Yes? Yes. So I'm like, limitless dream, let's go. And then what we did was we created that vision together. And not only that, we created space for it's either going to be this guy or somebody of equal caliber that's going to believe in the vision, that's going to want to invest. And then what we did is embodiment practices, breath work practices. Because once you know what you want, once you know why you want it, I asked him, why is this important to you? How can we make this about the other person? How can the other person feel that they are so important that you want them to be part of something so much bigger? And how can you put focus on them as opposed to saying, here's what I need?
That right there, like everybody, like inviting you to take a breath on that, because it's so easy for us to fall into, so easy for me to fall into that, like make it about me. But like, no, this isn't, I'm not asking for something from you. Like, I'm giving you an amazing opportunity, part of something incredible. And we're all doing that. So like we have that like confident, sexy energy. It's like romance. Like someone came and said, hey, do you want to have this thing with me? Because no, it's like, hey, I want to do something epic with you. And like, here's this great thing we can do together. Same vibe.
So I welcome you to feel that we are right now, all of us are having sex. This is a group orgy. Whether you like it or not, like if you're laughing, if you're feeling the vibe, you're in the vortex. What happens? Sex is just another way to get into the vortex, to eliminate resistance, right? That's it. We're all having sex right now. So imagine every single person you're talking to, you are energetically having sex with them if it feels good. Sales is sex. Because if you are working with the right person, does it feel as good as when you climax, when you let go, get out of your head? If it doesn't, then talk to me, talk to Jackson, because we got to get you there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's got to feel this good. Because it's a fire. It's a divine fire. It's outside of our head. It's being totally present. Like if I come to you and I have agenda that's all about me, I'm not being of service. Right? Like what is the greatest orgasm that you have is when you, especially as a woman, can get out of your head. Say yeah. And really enjoy being present. Right? That's the same thing with every conversation. And when your vision's clear and you're going out for that big investment, the vision has already been written into your subconscious because you did your embodiment practices. Now you got to find a way to be present, right? Not think about that vision because you've already created it. It's already been done.
There's one line that you said to me that I loved in the process was like, you are Joe Dispenza. Because we're like talking about like masters of manifestation, all this, like, and we are like, we're one with that same energy. If you really tap into it, get beyond the no mind, no space, no time, etc., and like practice that, there's nothing that anyone else has that we don't have. It's just a matter of us really embodying that truth, that energy, and acquiring those skills and going through the processes to really get that, that technical knowledge. But there's no dividing lines between us and anyone that we desire to be. So
right.
Owning that main character energy big time.
Yes, there's so a lot of people like in this consumer world, because we've learned to consume information, that we forget that we are the creation, that we are the creator. So when somebody goes to me, it's like, oh, did you hear this meditation, Joe Dispenza? Jackson did it. Did you hear this one thing? And I'm like, you are Joe Dispenza.
One thing, and again, I don't want to interrupt your yes,
Yep.
sorry. Again, I don't want to interrupt your train of thought. So remember where you want to go next. But we're at about half an hour or so left. and want to give some awesome Q&A time, because I imagine there's going to be some good questions we can hop into. So just want to either go there now with the crew, or if there's a point you wanted to make or something you want to share first, just give us enough time for that.
I'll just wrap up my thought. If you are Oprah Winfrey, yeah, you are Tony Robbins, you are the Dalai Lama.
Pauline's feeling it over there.
Like, you are a Tantrika, world famous Tantrika, right? No one can take away from you what you believe. So you just figure out what it is that you want to believe, what you want that identity to be. And then drill it into yourself. Go swimming at 5 a.m. Do things that you're so uncomfortable doing with that intention of the new identity that you bring it into the body. Because that's the service that you can bring to the world, right? By being fully yourself and not letting anyone dim your light. Right? Because when you beam so bright, all the little people that are trying to tumble you down, their darkness, we're just going to tumble them with light, with a blanket of love. It doesn't matter how long it takes. The blanket of love, believe me, is way more powerful than anybody's little petty comment. It's way more powerful than even your family doesn't believe for you to keep going. The blanket of love is Mother Gaia, is unconditional. Who here agrees, resonates with that? Yes? Who here believes that for every one person who may have a negative comment or feedback that's unnecessary, there's probably 1,000 that are waiting for you to show up? And who here believes that when you do and you keep showing up, then they come? Yes. This is why it's important to have a clear message. It's important to translate your energy into words. And this is one of the things that human design helps with. It's important to translate what your energy is, what your gifts and talents are, into words that other humans can understand. Because in this day and age, humans see words and they come to you based on the words that you use. Right? So human design will tell you if you are like, sexuality is your creme de la crop, or breath work is your creme de la crop, or what other gifts you have that you think are naturally coming to everybody, but they don't. They come just to you. And when you access the course, you'll see 2 apps that I use there. And you can see if you're specific manifesting or general manifesting. And what your energy type is. Like, so human design, it explains to you how your aura, how your energy works, and how to use it the right way, whether you need to wait for an invitation, whether, you understand, you guys have already been through this. But maybe some of the things that I say in the course or in these apps that I demonstrate, maybe they can take you deeper into realizing yourself. Because the more you realize yourself, the easier things become. Right? And the easier you can market your truth, because all branding is being yourself, is expressing yourself and enrolling people into your dream, which helps them have the power to pursue their own dream. Did you guys catch that last thing? When you're helping people, you're just enrolling people into your dream, which helps them have the power to create their own dream. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely wrote that down, because there's also the first time you said it, there was one extra piece there, which is enrolling ourselves into the dream.
Yes.
And once we're totally enrolled, once we're totally committed, totally convicted, then we can enroll others. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So just imagine, just keep dreaming and really embodying this dream. Because this dream has no, the only limitation this dream has is the ones that you set on it. Right? So if you don't set any limitations on the dreams, there's no limits on this dream. And you better believe, just like there's fetishes for everything. There's lots of people that are are waiting for your dream. Okay, so do you wanna switch over to Q&A? Do you guys have any questions on human design, how to translate it into business, how I use that for offers or visioning, anything, sexuality, psychedelics, whatever. You have any questions about my story, any of that? Or zoom out.
There was a question from Alexandra in the chat. What if you're non-specific manifesting type?
Yes. So non-specific, you can see that in one of the apps I demonstrate. Once you log in, you'll see right away in my backend which apps I use. You gotta get deep into the emotion. Like so deep. So let me give you an example. So my mom passed away from stage 4B cervical cancer. And the reason why I wrote was because I didn't want another person to live in the dark like I used to be. Right? Looking for love in all the wrong places, letting anger control me. So that other person, right, my old self, was the reason why I kept going. But my real reason why was the trigger, was the fact that I woke up as a result of my mom not experiencing and not living her to the fullest, her own self to the fullest. Does that
So
make
what
sense?
I was like, if you're making a vision board and you're non-specific, because you said to kind of make it based on your human design. So what would a vision board look like if I'm
non-specific? Can you tell me what is your design? Are you
projector?
And what's your profile?
3-5, non-specific, splenic authority. I could keep going.
Okay. Yeah, non-specific splenic authority 3-5. Cool. So you understand how a projector operates, right?
Mhm.
If you don't have another person who is coming to you for service, if you don't have an invitation, then you can't project amplify them. So you're not the one coming up with the ideas. Do you understand that part of it? So you have to wait for invitations. And how do you receive invitations? Is by blinking your light. You are the light in the middle of the sea, so other ships can see where to go, right? Navigating. But if there's no other ships, then you have no one to navigate. So if you're coming up with ideas because you think that's what people want, that's not waiting for invitation.
So how would you suggest like shining the light in that, because that's something that confuses me too, also projector. So
right. When you've learned something, for example, when I was starting in the coaching world, when you've learned a hack, something that has helped you, in order for people to know that you can also help them, you've got to demonstrate, right, yourself doing it and say, I am available for this. So you're demonstrating, you're shining your light, you're standing your beacon, you're the tree, and you're like, I am doing this, and this is what I've helped myself with, and this is what I've helped this person with. And then they come and they ask you, so they invite you for information. Oh, can you tell me more about this? Or, hey, can you help me with this event? Or, hey, can you help me with this thing? So you got to wait for your invitation, but you got to recognize what kind of things you want to be invited to by blinking the light, by demonstrating it through your social media, through your conversations.
does that get to the root of what you're hoping for, Alexandra? Or are you looking for more like energy or like emotional amplification around the general non-specific manifesting? Or
to add on top of that, the non-specific, so splenic means you have to trust the little voice inside that only speaks once. Have you tested it?
Oh, yes. Yeah, the splenic authority I get. Mainly, I was just wondering, like, if I'm creating this vision board, I think that's where I was getting stuck, because I was like, if I'm not supposed to put specific things on there,
what's the reason why? You gotta get in deep into the emotion why you do the things that you do.
And then just put pictures about, like, freedom and what I'm helping clients with, just put visions of that, I guess.
But the feeling around it. Like, so for example, like, what's your offering? Like, what do you offer people? What is your offering?
My offer is I do plant medicine, so I guide people through radical transformations to remember who they are and
Why?
And find answers to all the places in their life where they feel stuck.
Okay, is that what helped you?
Yeah, I really love helping people
But why did you even start it in the first place?
because I saw how beneficial it was, and I wanted to bring that knowledge and project it out into the world.
So was there, were you a certain way before that you wanted to find an answer and then become more peaceful or whatever, like you wanted to embody this new state, right? So you had
Yeah.
a big why, a reason what pulled you into trying this, right?
Mhm.
Did you have
Mhm.
somebody who passed away or anything that happened to you in the past that needed forgiveness?
I mainly was looking for freedom. That was the word. I just wanted freedom.
Cool. And that's what you got, right?
Mm-hmm.
Through the psychedelics. Cool. So I would use very specific ways that make you feel freedom and like your before and after.
Okay. Thank you.
Because you got to magnetize like the people that are 2 steps behind you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to feel into how your old self used to feel before you found this beacon of liberation in
Mm-hmm.
order to communicate to those people, right? So that
Okay.
that level of frustration and maybe for me it was anger before medicine. Like I had anger, like I had a lot of insecurities, right? So that would be my emotional self. My emotional would be like my mother didn't find the answers. My emotional would be like anger, how angry I used to get before finding plant medicines and discovering that I can have a peaceful life.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so yeah, love that. So if there's any journaling or some some processing around it, really getting those big emotions in there, so that is infused into that vision. I know you're already doing a good amount of that, but seeing what expanse can be offered, that's great.
But if you, I don't know if you resonate, but did you have anger, a lot more anger before inside of you before plant medicines? No?
Yeah, no, anger wasn't an emotion that I was really connected to.
Or was it grief or shame?
It was probably sadness.
Sadness. Okay. So that's the emotion that you have transformed, right? With
Yeah.
psychedelics.
Yeah.
That's what I would go into then.
Okay.
And then also your vocation in Gene Keys. Sorry, I didn't bring up Gene Keys too much, but your vocation in Gene Keys will also help you attract that soul tribe. Because the vocation is one of the 6 one of the 6 most important things that you need to know about yourself in order to broadcast your light. Cool. Jinkies, yeah, and I also have a certification program for that. Who here has was that good for you in terms of visioning or yeah? Go deep into the emotion, yeah, cool.
Awesome.
And then it's a
I think
3-5, just so you know, it's a 3-5. The way that you see yourself is the experimenter, right? So that's a 3. And the way that other people see you is the liberator. So you have to differentiate who you want to liberate, because everybody sees you as a liberator and you serve different things for different people, right? Not everything is meant for you to be of service to. Trust the splenic. Because everybody will see you as the liberator, but you should wisely pick and choose who it is that you want to serve based on your spleen, you know. And lastly, you'll amplify people in such a crazy scale. Like Jackson said, like people come to you, they have this little result that they want. Remember that you are you can amplify that really fast, so that they get things manifested fast. But it's up to you to set the ground before to know that you are the one that can hold space for them to achieve however big that vision is.
Love it.
Projector, 20% of the population. Yeah.
I think Anna Maria, you had your hand up next, and I love all that. So
Thank you. Yes. Another projector here, 6'2". I'm ending just about to finish my Gene Keys certification. This month I become a fully certified Gene
Wow.
Keys guide. Yeah, super exciting. And so when you mentioned that there's 6 elements in the profile that are what we're supposed to broadcast, I haven't heard what are those 6 elements? The vocation, certainly, I imagine the life's work, the deep purpose.
No, I was just talking about the vocation. So the vocation is your suffering, is the wound that you enter this world with 9 months before your birth, right away when you've been incarnated. So that suffering, that wound, is actually your liberation, your salvation. When you broadcast that suffering, that you've overcome that suffering, that's how you attract your soul tribe.
Great.
I look at Gene Keys from a standpoint of business. So I've gone through it a bunch of times, and I created my own certification for it. And I help people to translate how to manifest better in their business world using the Gene Keys.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Was there 6 elements that you just mentioned, or did I catch that wrong?
That's the 6. The 6 come from the vocation.
Okay.
So they're like, for me, for example, it was shame, overcoming shame. That was my
Right.
big, right.
For me, it's repression, the first one. Okay. Well, I'd love to know more about that mix between business and Gene Keys, if it's appropriate right now or in another space.
Oh, well, there's a lot to it, and I created a certification for it. So just let me know when you have a conversation about it.
Yeah,
And
great. Thank you.
you can, you can schedule a call with me on dasha.love, DASHA.V.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
It's amazing because the Gene Keys really takes you deep into understanding that your word is a sword. You know, and I translated it by looking at the profile, how to speak correctly based on your human design, and using elements of Gene Keys to speak correctly to your audience.
Yeah, but in some cases, from my perspective, Gene Keys and human design are not totally aligned, because, for example, in my Gene Keys, I'm supposed to be a creator because my vocation is 1. And so, you know, the center of my business, I'm supposed to be it, and to create, you know, to write the script, if you will. And that's very much my nature. It's been my nature to write a book, to generate, you know, a school. And so that doesn't really map well with being the projector that only follows other people's ideas. So for me, I resonate much more with Gene Keys. It's you know, more complex and more nuanced, and goes better with my nature, actually.
So it's not that you follow other people's ideas. It's that before we can help anybody else, we must first understand ourselves. It's that we can amplify other people. We don't follow. So based on what if you're splenic or whatever your authority is, when people come to you, they invite you, and then you trust which invitations are correct for you to amplify. But before you can even do that, you first have to understand yourself. So what a book does, things like that, is to help you understand yourself first and foremost, before you can go out and amplify other people.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but creating a school is beyond understanding myself. And I lead a school, so it's a little bit different, I think, but it's fine. I mean, it's fine. I totally appreciate both models.
Mash, you nodded your head. Do you think?
I mean,
it's not
if
different?
you're creating a school, then you're creating something like that's projector at its highest like form. You're creating something where you're literally going to put people in, or kids in, and you're like, amplifying them, like helping them rise, helping
That's true.
them, like, grow. So it doesn't, it because you're creating it, that's beautiful, but you're still doing your projector self, like, service of, like, you see their light and you want to, like, you're like, hey, you're good at this, come on, let's keep going, like, that's amplifying.
I resonate with that completely. Thank you.
Whose idea was it to create the school?
Mine.
Did you hear it somewhere before though?
Yes,
The-
I mean, I did have at the time, I'll be honest, at the time when I created the school, I had a business partner who's no longer with me, who said, you know, you should have a platform to have these workshops. You should have, you know, and I said, you're right. So, so I want to acknowledge that as well. Yeah, that was an important element to have somebody say, you should have a platform.
So that's an invitation.
That's true.
If you start seeing there's a chain that's always happening, like that we don't recognize how we were invited, some shape or form. But remember that you need other energy types as well
Yes.
when you are creating. You need the right. Okay.
That's something I'm actively working on to build a team around me. And the more I go and the more I realize I need people around me to help me sustain the energy, for sure.
And I would hire based on human design. I would
Yeah.
look up to see what energies and how people operate before hiring.
Yeah, I whoever wants to start the first human design, like HR, like team building agency, I don't know who's going to be the first human design billionaire, but someone, I saw you, Alexandra, like someone needs to be doing that, because wow, is that valuable? And maybe that's an Aurea thing. Genevieve?
I'm proof of that. I've recently hired my team according to Jeff's guidance on the human design, and it's helping. Yeah. So whoever wants to start it, I'll be right there to help you.
You know what? I'm actually going to write our team right now about it, because just so you get a little glimpse in the future of Aurea, we have some really amazing staffing partners we're working with. So like in future masterminds, there's going to be like, hey, I need all of this done. Like, this is like my end goal. Okay, cool. Here's a VA, here's this, here's that to really match to it. So putting a human design filter in there is totally doable. Anyway, tangent, but I'm excited. So please keep firing away with your questions for this epic woman here, Dasha.
Was this helpful, by the way, for everybody? And everyone has their different translation of human design gene keys, so take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Yeah, like, because it's just my view and my translation from people that I studied from and experimenting. Ultimately, the experiment is for you to see how you can best and easiest live in this life, and what works, what doesn't work, right? So was this useful for everybody? Like, kind of the demos of how. So this is two projectors. Projectors are amplifiers, space, people, and they can see systems, right? We can see systems better than everybody else. And we laser focus on individuals, right? Because of our absorbing energy. Anybody has any other questions for visioning, getting clarity, or human design?
I think there's like 5 projectors in here.
Raise your hand if you're a projector. 1, 2, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, awesome.
Plus the Tori.
Oh yes, Tori's a projector. My sister pulled up a human design as I was giving birth. She was like, just in case you were. That's my sister, Masha, by the way. So who here has also any other cool stories why you do what you do? This is your stage. Nessa, are you with us? Kimberly, are you with us? You guys are Anna Maria, oh, you're here. Okay. If anybody has any story to share, they're offered to share. This is your spotlight. Not all at once, all right?
I can share a little bit because I think that your invitation to have a short story is really important. So I would love to practice if that's okay.
Yes. Do you want me to time you?
Yeah.
How long do you want to say your story and then your call to action? What dream you're bringing people into?
1 minute maximum.
Okay, who here can hold a minute? Because I don't have my phone next to me. Not? Okay, give her a 3, 2, 1. And remember, get to the elevator pitch. You and I are in an elevator. Who knows? Maybe I could be an investor, maybe not. And I just asked you, what do you do?
Well, we're in the middle of unprecedented change, a big transition in humanity. And so this means that people like myself, we faced big identity crisis, like, what am I really up to in this life? And I fell down and had to ask the hard questions. And I didn't have a guide. And so I had to take, intuitive steps to redefine who I was and give myself permission to reinvent myself. And people who are going through these kinds of transitions don't often have these steps. And so I was able to create a method called Life Revision and write a book about it. And today I have created a school to support others in that journey of reinvention, of having permission to completely create a new identity.
Woo, woo. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. So what, oh, you didn't mention what you need help with. If you need anything, or if you're enrolling, or if you're looking for investors, or if you're looking for people that want to join your school.
Yes, I have right now a current invitation to sign up for a online summit, a virtual summit that's completely free called Purpose Ages, because I believe that purpose work is the most sacred work that we need to do as humans on this planet, in this incarnation, to understand what is really purpose work. So I interviewed 30 people around the world, like incredible sages. And so the first step is, if you want to learn more, what does it take to live a life of purpose? Could be a good first step.
So do you want to hear my 2 cents?
Yeah.
I would begin with something emotional right off the get-go.
Please.
I used to live like I was living a life of I used to live a life that wasn't on purpose, and then I interviewed 30 purposeful people, and my mind was blown. Or something like I used to live a life that wasn't serving, or I was drinking, or something that like goes straight into the story, and then from the story transited into what you created, and then what your call to action to.
Yeah, actually, if I just say what actually happened, which is when you start to live a new life, you need the validation of people, like wise people around you, a wisdom council of sages, to say you are on the right path, you are on the right track. So I started looking for those wise elders to guide me, and that's the people I interviewed, and that's the invitation I have for you, to listen in on these conversations and get inspired to what are the invitations for your own journey.
That's good. That's good. Much better.
Thank you.
Give her a hand. Give her a hand.
Yay for practice. Thank you.
This is what I had to do. I'm one of the finalists for the next Great American Speak Off. I got the golden ticket for what do you call it? What's his name? Grant Cardone's. Yeah, Grant Cardone Speak Off. So I made it through the first round. And
let's go, Dasha.
Thank you. I was pregnant.
Congratulations.
Like 8 months already when I went to do it. But they had us do a minute and then 2 minutes. And guess what? I was practicing with some people that came there because they wanted to wing it. But I spent the 24 hours before that dialing in, make sure that I get my 1 minute with everything that I needed to say perfectly 10 times. I recorded myself the day before. Make sure that I get my 2 minutes perfectly 10 times before I was done. So anything that's important to you, don't wing it. Right? Practice, 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 practice. It will make you better. So I dialed in the 1 minute, dialed in the 2 minutes. After the 1 minute, the lady goes, She stood up and she was like, you are going to be on stages for the rest of your life.
Wow.
So you have to get straight into the emotion, let that emotion ride, who you're speaking to, why it matters to you, what's the call to action. Everything within 1 minute. Like this might be the only minute you ever have. This one person, this one time that could make or break everything about your business, right? Like the Eminem song, do not miss a chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Right? We're each presented with a stage. Like there's gonna be a moment. So you gotta know what to say in that moment. Are you saying it clearly? Because if you're ready for that moment, for that big stage, if you practice it over and over again, you will be provided the stage. You better believe it. Now, what are you gonna do if you haven't practiced for your 1 minute of fame? You're gonna miss the opportunity, right? Because opportunities only come to people who are super prepared for them, who've been practicing day in and day out. Luck is nothing but opportunity meets the right time and space. I forgot exactly how that quote goes.
Preparation.
Preparation.
Yeah. We'll give you a breastfeeding hormone lapse on that one, but you've rocked it, Dasha. You're such a fun, just hilarious, brilliant human being. I'm just so grateful to have you part of our crew here. I know we're pretty much at time. Anyone else with like a brief question we can give to this awesome being here for us?
And log in, experiment. There's probably some things you don't know about yourself or about manifesting. I'm here to support you on this journey. Remember, we are here to support each other. So if you feel intuitively that you need something, always go and ask for it. You know, when there's a will, there's a way. Nothing will ever stop you from becoming your best self, from getting the resources you need. All you got to do is keep knocking on the doors, because the right ones will open. And life will never be the same again.
All right, well, big round of applause. Send you a ton of love and gratitude, Dasha. Thank you so much. And yeah, everyone go through the process, lean into her practices, get in touch with her if you want more information and interactions and offerings from Dasha. She's just got a ton to share, and very excited about a very long and robust relationship of epic creations together. So thank you again. Thanks, everybody. Wishing you all an epic night. Go manifest some amazing lives. See you guys.
Yeah.
Bye for now.